So genetic engineering had some of that component to it, but genetic engineering was never really didn't originate from an engineering background. It originated from a biology background. This is try to compensate for that. So in engineering, you might have computer-aided design, hierarchical abstraction, where you can take parts, put them together, make a more complicated part. You have specification sheets, you have systems analysis, you have safety engineering. That's an important one. So all of these things were somewhat represented in the metric space in genetic engineering, but now they're more formalized, and you think of it in the same sense that genes, the genomics is studying all the genes at once, and synthetic biology is kind of engineering all the genes at once.
Just sort of to give more authority to your words, perhaps I can read the short passage from page 4 here, where you say, just as computers for universal machines, in the sense that given the appropriate programming, they could simulate the activities of any other machine. So biological organisms approach the condition of being universal constructors in the sense that with appropriate changes in their genetic programming, they could be made to produce practically any imaginable artifact.
Right.
And then,
I think I agree.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. So what are the limitations to that way of thinking? I mean, that's really groundbreaking. But it's so groundbreaking that people have called it sometimes the most dangerous idea, or among the most dangerous ideas.
Mm-hmm. Well, danger is everywhere. In some extent, inactivity is one of the most dangerous ideas ever. It's complacency and assuming things will be fine if we do nothing. We have a planet with an unprecedented number of people on it, all of whom want the wealth of the most wealthy people, which is a very consumptive attitude. So we have a crisis that requires constant reflection on danger. Safety and security are the best way of ensuring security, safety, and progress. I think the main thing is we need to have systems that we need to have. We need to be not just make knee-jerk responses when we say, oh, this is obviously good. Like plastics or electronics are obviously good. I think that was naive. And nor should we say obviously that, because it requires thoughtful consideration of all the risks and benefits, including risks and benefits that are obvious. We need to play the test game and move forward as we can in order to assess the risks and benefits.
Now, to be more specific and more accurate, when Francis Fukuyama said that it's the most dangerous idea, he was speaking more specifically about transhumanism. But what, in your view, is the relationship between sort of transhumanism and synthetic biology?
Well, I think, if transhumanism is defined as going beyond our natural state, which is our tribal state, pre-industrial, we're well transhuman. That's to say, we have electronics highly integrated into our body effectively. There are many other people who cannot be separated from their computer, cell phone, their ways of communicating with other people is defined that way. So that our cars, our seating, housing, all these things are very far from natural. Synthetic biology is just one new tool. But is our first really atomic design. It's the first nanotechnology that really works. And it gives us control over any material at any degree of resolution. And because it is, in a sense, it represents biology, which is the cheap, literally, many biological structures which are produced at scale, like trees, for example. It's atomically precise and self-replicating and free as long as you have sunlight from it.
Now, you mentioned that the authors, many of your colleagues, you're more on the side of faith. So, do you find guiding principles or ethical principles stemming from your faith that would sort of guide you or tell you what you should or you shouldn't do, or how far you should go and how far you shouldn't go?
What's interesting about sometimes we say science doesn't address the should, it just addresses what can be done, typically. But there are some shoulds in science that addresses. So, for example, there's what is likely to happen. So, if you look at a technology curve, you can observe, you can extrapolate. If you look at the historical precedents, you can see that most technologies that have been banned, and most radical technologies have been banned at some point or another. Tim Kelly has documented the length of time they're banned is shortening as time moves on. So that we're getting better at safer adjusting to them, integrating them with other ways of thinking and other technologies so that they're socially acceptable. So those are part of what we can do. Should if you say something shouldn't happen, then unless it does happen, what does that mean? Does that mean we should go back? Or is it if we're upset with the fact that we have that our crops produce runoff, the fertilizer runoff, does that mean we should go back to the pre-industrial way of raising food? That would probably result in people starving. That's not a very good should.
One of the most interesting ideas, and perhaps the most powerful way that synthetic biology can improve near organisms and near humans?
Well, we're going to describe two strategies that abstract to it. Make a cell resistant to all viruses. One, the easier one, hopefully will happen in the next year or so, is changing the genetic code. So all viruses share a need for a common genetic code provided by the host. The idea of a mirror cell is that if you could flip, so if you have just a cluster of atoms that are asymmetric, you can make another cluster that has the same atoms, the same distances, but are related by a mirror image. So as you hold up the mirror image of one molecule looks like the other molecule, and those are they have many particular properties. They have fundamental properties. The one property is mirror image, precision. But since those mirrors are not catalysts in a cell, in a human body or in a organism, have this handedness to them, they don't recognize as predictable. And so that is the adjusted degree proteins and nucleic acids and so forth that work on the mirror image today. And the mirror image cell is not only resistant to viruses, but it be resistant to enzymes and digestion to all sorts of predators and parasites and viruses.
Now, you mentioned that the easier way would be just to change the genetic coding, as you just said. You're hoping that this will happen within the next year or so. How about the harder way of creating your organism? What's the timeline in your view on that? The milestones will be first creating a protein synthetic machinery of ribosomes, which will handle normal messenger RNA, make it into your protein. One way to do it all kind of thing, or we do biochemistry for trying both. The next step is once you have a way of producing lots of large proteins with functionality and put in the mirror form, then you can use those now to make copies of the cells, your proteins, your RNAs, copies of the cells, and then encapsulate that into a lipid bed, and then to a mirror form of an existing cell. Now the prerequisite for that is testing right now. We know how to make mirror copies of peptides and nucleic acid. We don't know how to get a cell to replicate parts. We know how to change a cell so it has a new genome, but we don't know how to put the part and put it back together without the help of existing cell that has its own elements. And that's the one particular look at. I guess is sort of 5 years is a long time these days. 5 years was nothing, but in 5 years, it basically brought down the cost of some genomics by a million fold. So I don't think it's out of the question. We should be able to get a replicated system some parts. George, you mentioned you have many other interesting terms and topics in your book, and I'd recommend the book to any members of our audience today. Ideas like living software, why you call DNA the oldest text, and all that, and many other precious ideas that I think would enrich anyone who reads the book. But let me move on here and ask you, what do you think of patenting living organisms? Is the patenting system that we have today, in other words, progressive and ensuring progress, or is it preventing it?
Well, it's a little complicated to say because it's hard to do the control where we have a system without patents. But what people sometimes forget to say, to discuss is the alternative to patents or any system, whether it's physics, chemistry, biology, is not everything free and open and easy to exchange. It's having trade secrets. So the whole point of patents is to entice people to tell their trade secrets to the world. So if I were to mess around with that system, I would just probably get rid of it completely because that would result in more trade secrets and more difficulty sharing. You might tweak the amount of time monopoly lasts or something like that. I think the patent system works for physics, chemistry, and biology pretty well. What you need to do is to ensure that the student criteria are being non-obvious and useful in that. For things that are obvious or not useful, then that complicates.
You're talking here mainly from the point of view of innovation, though, and creating sort of technological progress, and the way this is structured right now is very economic in its foundation. But let me ask you from an ethical point of view, would that change anything that, in chemistry, we may be talking about certain kind of a compound, but in biology, anyway else, you're talking about living organisms, and perhaps eventually you might even start talking about sentient living organisms. Would that change things?
Well, I think that, I'm going to call here whether you want to invent at all. And then if you invent them, whether you want to encourage the inventor or the invention, do you want to encourage the inventor to continue to invent to innovation? I think that ethical and a system that saves lives, and it reduces, as it increases the chance of species to survive, versus the EPA and the FDA. We have regulations on animal and human research, and I think it's all is do not force to do things the ethical way. All kinds of alternate business or things to pass laws and discuss. So, for example, for organ, I think that the more humane way would be to grow the organ, either print it or grow it, laboratory without nervous system. Where if you need a liver, you grow the liver, rather than growing up an entire meat. So, I think it's the main development of the trade-off there.
Now, if we go beyond the patenting system, let me ask you, what's your view, and is there any connection between the personal genome project that you were involved in and open source genomics, for example? What's your view on open sourcing, maybe as much of the research there?
Right, so we're arguably one of the most open laboratories, in part because the personal genome approach is as far as I know, it's the only open access data source for emerging problems, traits, and environments, and connections between them, protein and connecting genome to traits. Usually the answer is either in a proprietary database where you can only get access if you pay a lot, or it's in a government plus industry database, which is also closed, so the average citizen can't get access to it, and very often it's not internationally accessible either.
So let me move on here to another question and ask you. In the complete mapping of the human genome has been criticized as, not delivering on the promise of genomics by many people who have said, well, we've done it for about 10 years now, and it so far, according to some critics, it hasn't delivered on its promises. What would you like to say to criticisms like that?